up on Fulton Today, mayors from across the county meet to discuss the future of transportation and infrastructure. We'll have the details. And the Fulton County District Attorney gets help in dealing with the county's heroin problem. Fulton Today starts right now. Welcome to Fulton Today, everyone. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. Transportation funding and infrastructure improvements are back on the table as mayors from across the county sit down once again for a discussion. FGTV was in the room for the meeting, and our Priscilla Ortega has the story.
This was the first meeting of its kind where Mayor Kasim Reed sat at the table and talked with other mayors and the Board of Commissioners about transportation funding, including MARTA. Now, there was a lot of discussion and progress, but there's still more work to be done.
We don't want you to be railroaded. We want you to be involved in the plan.
State senators, city mayors, and MARTA officials all joined county commissioners for another conversation about improving transportation in Fulton.
So we have a lot of momentum. We have a lot of people wanting to do business in this state. And I think the one thing that we have missed is transit.
The group agrees that voters should decide on a 1-penny sales tax increase for transportation purposes. But now the hurdle is how much would be allocated to MARTA.
I'm still trying to work and to reach a good compromise, but that compromise is going to include a MARTA system, that is robust and thriving.
The citizens of Roswell are looking for relief from traffic, which means transportation improvements. But there's also a recognition that if our city is going to be successful in the future, that MARTA needs to be part of that. So there's also support, although it's not unanimous, for MARTA in Roswell.
An agreement between this body on how to divide the tax increase has to happen before the end of the month, so legislators can approve the plan by February 29th. Chairman John Eaves believes it's important that all of the cities in the county agree.
Yes, Atlanta is about 42% of the population, but 58% of the population exists outside of Atlanta, so we need to get that support as well.
If we can get to a solution, we've really accomplished a lot. To think about the diversity of the mayor of Chattahoochee Hills all the way to the mayor of Johns Creek and the mayor of Atlanta all agreeing to move forward on a direction.
Even though there was no consensus yet, the mayors and commissioners agreed to meet until they reach a compromise. If this is all approved, residents will be able to vote on this measure in November. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Priscilla Ortega.
Thank you very much. Meanwhile, Fulton's top prosecutor launches an all-out assault on the heroin epidemic in the county. District Attorney Paul Howard has formed a heroin task force with the mission of saving lives. FGTV's Felicia Church has this story.
In the judge's conference room at the Fulton County Courthouse, Fulton's district attorney brought together law enforcement, elected officials, legislative liaisons, and health and civic leaders to address what is clearly the new drug of choice, heroin, and now the new drug problem.
We know now that the rumors about the problem, those rumors have been confirmed.
The cheap, available, and deadly drug is sweeping through all parts of the county. And now those who are part of this heroin task force want to find a way to address the problem.
We talked about some important next steps and some action items that we could take to start to really seriously address the serious problem we have that's affecting our youth here in Fulton County.
What we're trying to do is raise a grassroots campaign to send letters and to make conversations started between here and Washington, D.C.
In January, D.A. Howard and Fulton Chairman John Eaves released the results of a comprehensive study on heroin-related crime and deaths. The report showed that between 2010 and 2014, 154 were killed in heroin-related deaths in Fulton County. The study was released during a program at the Lindsay Street Baptist Church in the English Avenue area, also known as the Bluff. It's the same area where police and federal officials closed down known drug houses in 2015 and an area where most of the heroin sales are made. The DA said most of the buyers are from North Fulton. He's even received reports of parents driving their children to the area to buy the drug.
But the parents said to me, the reason that I'm doing this is to make sure that my child returns home safely.
Members of the county's Intergovernmental Affairs Division, state and local officials are also working to resolve the problem with legislation.
The thing that we're most excited about is that the federal government is realizing that we cannot solve this problem by mass incarceration. They're starting to look at it differently as a public health issue, as a public safety issue, and then lastly, as a criminal justice matter.
A move families, justice officials, and legislators are glad to see. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Felicia Church.
Thank you very much. Good news to report about Fulton County's human trafficking advocacy organization called Youth Spark. Thanks to the Atlanta Women's Club partnership, some $33,000 were raised to help sex trafficking victims. They hosted a Movers, Shakers, and Changemakers fundraiser for Youth Spark at their facility, and donors quickly raised their auction paddles for the cause.
Community events like this are an extremely important part of getting people aware of the issue of child sex trafficking. But I think it's more than just that. It's also about empowering people from different sectors to actually make a difference in child sex trafficking rates in Metro Atlanta.
Based at the Fulton County Juvenile Court, Youth Spark is a nonprofit organization designed to protect child victims of sexual exploitation.
The problem is really big, but it's not too big for you to take a seat at the table. It's law enforcement's job to rescue the girls. It's the therapist's job to heal them and give them the therapy. But community members can support programs like Youth Spark and other agencies, but it's also great to just be aware that you know what's going on and talk to the kids in your life.
Hundreds of volunteers and advocates met at the Capitol in early January to rally for policy solutions to combat human trafficking. A study in 2010 by the independent research firm, the Shapiro Group, found that 7,200 men knowingly and unknowingly purchased sex with adolescent girls each month in Georgia. Well, lives are at risk and split decisions are important. That was the scenario at the Fulton County Jail. It was all a part of a firearms training exercise at the Rice Street facility. The exercises involved inmates versus inmates. Officers responding to inmates not following instructions. The jailer explained the importance of these exercises.
We can actually run scenarios, and the scenario is going to be based on incidents that we either had here at the facility or incidents that occurred outside of jurisdiction or in other locations throughout the county, throughout the country. If we had an incident that was something that we need to address as it relates to training and policy and so forth, we use these scenarios to incorporate all our training to reinforce the training and procedures and proper tactics.
The Sheriff's Office is known for its highly trained staff and high-tech tools to keep the community and the inmates safe. This is just one of the many exercises planned right here at the Fulton County lockup. Dozens of residents found a new love on Valentine's Day, and there's still time for you to find one too. For only $14, residents are adopting dogs and cats from the Fulton County Lifeline Animal Project. The cost includes spay and neutering, vaccinations, microchips, and registration. Though the holiday is over, the offer is still good until the end of the month.
I can't stress enough how important it is to adopt. Lifeline Animal Project is managing the shelter, and our immediate goal is to become no-kill in 2016. That's a huge underachievement for us, and we're actually almost there. This is the best way for people to get involved, and all you have to do is come and adopt.
To find out more about the adoption process with Lifeline, you can call or email them at that information right there on your screen. And when we come back, celebrating Black history on the big screen. Stay with us. Fulton's chairman gets a first-hand accounting of how your tax dollars are being handled, and the Fulton County Public Access Channel joins a commissioner for a film festival. Here's this week's District by District coverage. We begin with Chairman John Eaves as he pays a visit to 2 county departments. The at-large commissioner stopped by the personnel office to greet employees and to hear from leaders about the operations of the department. Shortly thereafter, the chairman walked through the finance office to see for himself how staff is handling the day-to-day financial business of the people.
Just want to come by and say thank you and to introduce or reintroduce myself and let people know that we really care and we appreciate all the works and the effort that are being done, large and small, because we are a great organization and this is going to be an outstanding banner year of 2016. So thank you to all of our employees.
The finance department oversees the county's financial business. This year, they will manage the over $669 million budget that commissioners approved last month. District 5 Commissioner Marvin Arrington invites the public to enjoy the Black Film Festival in celebration of Black History Month.
Basically what we're trying to do is to share history, American history, black history, with the residents of Fulton County. And so this is our 4th or 5th year doing this Black History Film Festival. We've got great response every year and we're real excited that everyone is supporting.
The movies are directed and acted by African Americans and it will air on Fulton's public access channel on Comcast this month.
Our opening night ceremony will be at the Wolf Creek Library on Friday, February 26th. So our opening night ceremony will be at the Wolf Creek Library, where we will be screening The Making of Modern Atlanta by Ambassador and former Mayor Andrew Young. So we're very excited about that screening. That will take place from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Now, here is the information for the public access channel. For more information on the movies, you can visit the Commissioner's website. And finally, in District 6, there's good news about the Palmetto Library. The branch received the LEED Silver designation, making it the first branch in the library capital improvement program to garner this high mark. LEED stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design and was created by the U.S. Green Building Council. LEED certified buildings like the Palmetto branch saves money and resources and has a positive impact on the health of occupants while promoting renewable clean energy.
The LEED Silver certification means that this community knows for sure that their building is a green building. And that means it's environmentally friendly and energy efficient and has great indoor air quality.
The 10,000 square foot library opened in December 2014 and serves residents in the Palmetto and Chattahoochee Hills communities. And when we come back, the health department's latest strategy in the fight against HIV and AIDS. The health department announces its newest strategy in the fight against HIV and AIDS. And the focus this time is prevention. FGTV's Lynn Vaughan has our story.
The big announcement was twofold. First, Dr. David Holland, Chief Clinical Officer of Fulton's Communicable Disease Division, told the audience the services of the PrEP clinic are expanding. Secondly, PrEP will be available to those who cannot afford it at no cost, and that's thanks to manufacturer Gilead Sciences.
So what we're doing here at Fulton County primarily is trying to fill that gap and to make PrEP available for people who are uninsured and can't otherwise pay for this medical care, so that we can make it available to every single resident of the county that needs it.
PrEP, that's P-r-EP, stands for pre-exposure prophylaxis. It's highly effective in preventing HIV when taken properly. A PrEP pill must be taken every day, and you must have regular follow-up health care. Dr. Oliver Bacon with the San Francisco Department of Public Health is an infectious disease specialist who opened one of the first PrEP clinics in the country. His team spent several days working with Fulton staff, sharing what has worked in San Fran and what is still a challenge.
Everyone who's at risk should have access to it, and the Fulton County Health Department is making sure that everyone, including the most vulnerable people in the county, have access to it. And I think you know, I think we're all hoping that it'll be a model for other public health departments in the Southeast.
Because teens and young adults are the fastest growing group of new HIV cases, Board of Commissioners Chairman John Eaves pledges to work with schools and youth groups to make sure young people know about this form of treatment.
This is major. We need to get the word out that there is medication available for a targeted group that may be susceptible to HIV/AIDS, and so there's medication that will minimize the likelihood of them being infected.
Get more information on the PrEP regimen at 404-613-4708. And another component in the enhanced fight against HIV/AIDS is rapid entry. More on that in a future report. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Lynn Vaughn.
Thank you very much, Lynn. Meanwhile, the county's health professionals host a summit aimed at lowering the county's high obesity rate. The Partnership to Improve Community Health, or the PITCH program, gathered a variety of participants for the Active Living Summit. Community leaders, health organization members, and residents all discussed new ways to promote healthy habits.
The Active Living Summit is a great opportunity to bring in more community partners, organizations, students, people around Fulton County to discuss the PITCH program, the goals, what we've been working on, raise awareness about what we're doing, some best practices, and also learn from others.
The summit at the Georgia Institute of Technology is just one of several ways PITCH is working to fight chronic diseases in the county.
We've seen the research shows that over time, increasing physical activity leads to better health outcomes.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that 33% of 2 to 17-year-olds in Fulton County are considered obese, and the obesity rate among adults is 66%. Artists use a creative method to spread the word about the importance of taking care of your eyes. Here it is, an art exhibit at the Southwest Art Center called Windows to the Soul, the Human Eye and Our Health. This 3D photography features highly detailed images that are captured through state-of-the-art medical photography equipment. Many of the eyes in the display are affected with diseases that can be treated or prevented by having an annual eye exam. Now, health outreach workers say a comprehensive eye exam can also detect high cholesterol and hypertension.
Not only are the eyes the window to the soul, the eyes are also an excellent tool for identifying medical problems.
Kenneth Thompson is the photographer who captured the images. He has photographed more than 100,000 patients. The exhibit will run through February 26th at the Southwest Art Center. And when we come back, looking at contributions of African American inventors. Stay with us. Registration is now underway for the spring session of a number of arts and culture classes. The county's art centers are offering the 8-week courses that include a myriad of interests, including visual art, dance, music, acting, and sculpture. There are sessions for all ages.
We cover age ranges from birth to upper senior, but I would say 5 years old, depending if it's individual music, 5, if it's drawing, youth drawing, maybe 5 or 7, you know. So those ages work. If it's pre-K ballet, it may be 3.
The days, times, and locations vary depending on the class. You will have until March 11th to register. Classes start March 15th. For more information, go to fultonarts.org. And finally, the Parks and Recs Department takes part in an interesting exhibit featuring African American inventors. The one-day exhibit at Welcome All Park showcased 26 items that were invented with the help of African Americans. The exhibit was displayed from A to Z order with every letter of the alphabet included. The director of the Parks and Recreation Department says Welcome All Park was an ideal location for this very exhibit.
A lot of people come through Welcome All for a lot of different reasons, so we thought it would be a really good place to have an exhibit like this because it encompasses so many different aspects of our community and would allow more people to be able to experience this.
Phillips says they are continuing to partner with organizations to bring more exhibits to the parks in hopes of inspiring their young patrons. And before we go, our reminder that we'd like to connect with you online. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, anytime on our YouTube channel. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shania Chavis Rucker. Thank you so much for watching. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.